This is Optimal Finance Daily, episode 1858. Budget Your Way to Financial Freedom in 5 Steps by Andy Hill of marriagekidsandmoney.com. And I'm your host and personal finance enthusiast, Diana Merriam. For now, let's get right to it as we optimize your life. Budget Your Way to Financial Freedom in 5 Steps by Andy Hill of marriagekidsandmoney.com. When my wife, Nicole, and I started our marriage, we were $50,000 in debt and spending money like it was our full-time job. I, for one, had no issue going on vacations, driving cars, and updating our home all on credit. When we started thinking about having kids, Nicole and I knew it was time to break our addiction to debt. We knew we needed a plan to master our money. We had heard that developing a monthly budget could help us in eliminating debt, saving more money, and reaching our goals. So we gave it a go. It was rocky at first, but it soon became a habit. Fast forward 6 years later, we're debt-free, our net worth has increased by $800,000, and we're mortgage-free. We've never been happier. The catalyst for this major change in our lives was creating and sticking to a monthly budget. Here are the 5 steps we took to own our future through budgeting. Number 1, find your way through your why. Before you start your budgeting process, you need to set out clear objectives by answering some questions. Why are we budgeting? What is our purpose? When Nicole and I decided to have kids, my purpose, or my why, was clear. I wanted to make sure our kids had the best lives possible. No student loans to worry about, memorable annual vacations together, and parents that didn't stress about money. Without this why, I don't think I would have changed my path. Pause for a moment here. Think about your why for getting on a budget. Outside of saving more money and eliminating debt, what end results are exciting to you? Could you go on that dream vacation, upgrade your car, change into a different career that you love, give to a charity you feel passionate about, help out a friend in need, or vacation more? Write down your why and keep it as a strong reminder as you develop your budget each month. Number 2, level set with your partner. If you're married or thinking of getting married soon, share your life and financial goals with your partner and ask them to do the same with you. In order for you to succeed with the budgeting process and stick to it, your partner needs to be on the same page. Once you learn about your partner's goals, write them down and put them together with yours. Sit down on the comfy couch, review the goals, and dream about how amazing your lives will be when you achieve them. After that, you'll be motivated to develop your first budget as a team. Number 3, choose your weapon. If you're headed into battle without the right weapon, you're going to get slaughtered. Same goes for budgeting. Your budgeting weapon can be a piece of paper, an Excel form, or online programs like Mint, EveryDollar, or You Need a Budget. I highly recommend testing out different methodologies to see which weapon feels right in your hands. Our family started with an Excel document since we didn't have a lot of expense categories in the beginning, but then moved over to Mint a few years ago. If you're not into the online tools, don't let that stop you from getting started. Grab a piece of paper, write down how much money you make each month, and subtract from that amount money you spend each month. If you don't know how much you make or spend each month, take advantage of this moment and find out right now. It'll make a monumental difference in your life. Number 4, create a budget party. The key to success in budgeting is maintaining consistency. You can do this by setting a specific date each month and ensuring both you and your partner will be attentive and engaged. We're talking about your future here, people. Side note, when I originally proposed these monthly get-togethers to my wife, it took a little convincing. Staring at the numbers didn't sound like the most exciting thing to her. I knew a name like budget meeting or finance review wasn't going to entice her. I thought, hey, I'll call it a budget party. Everybody likes a party, right? Well, my wife is pretty smart, so she saw right through my naming tricks. She pointed out that looking at spreadsheets and talking about finances didn't equal a party, even though I thought it was super fun. We agreed that a little pizza and some wine would definitely make it more party-like. Now it's a running joke that I still call it a budget party, and she sort of rolls her eyes at me, but it worked because she loves our get-togethers now. I digress. We get together on the first of the month and review 3 main things: last month's spending, where are we over budget, where are we under budget, and what areas do we need to adjust for next month. Current month's plan. What events do we have, like birthdays, weddings, etc.? What areas do we need to adjust this month, like heating bill increases? Curse you, Michigan winters. Future dreams. What do we want to do when this mortgage is gone? What trips do we want to go on? When are we taking the kids to Disney for the first time? When can we join that swim club down the street? Whether you have pizza, wine, or go on a date out of the house, find a fun way to integrate budgeting into your relationship. Who knows? You might just like it. And number 5, celebrate the wins. If saving money and creating an emergency fund is your goal, make sure to celebrate that milestone moment when you hit your goal number. If you've made your last student loan payment, go crazy and have a flippin' party. This is a big deal. Celebrate your victory. It can be very motivating to put a reward out there for yourself when you achieve your personal finance dreams. Nicole and I bought a nice bottle of champagne and put it in the refrigerator to drink on the day we both owned our cars outright with no loans or leases. When we had enough money to make that situation a reality, those bubbles tasted that much sweeter. And financial victory can also be very addicting. Once you hit one goal, you'll feel empowered to do a lot more than you ever thought possible. Our next goal is to have our mortgage paid off by December 2017. This is something we never even thought was possible when we started budgeting 6 years ago. The goals and dreams we'll reach next will change our family tree for generations to come. You just listened to the post titled Budget Your Way to Financial Freedom in 5 Steps by Andy Hill of MarriageKidsAndMoney.com. The cost of living has never been higher in history. Many of us have student debt, a mortgage, car payments, medical bills, and the list goes on. On top of that, there's no thought more stressful than leaving that financial burden on a loved one's lap if something ever happened. On that note, it makes sense why people get life insurance, especially term coverage, which is surprisingly affordable. Why not pay a bit each month to protect the ones you love? If you're asking yourself this question, choose Ladder. Ladder is 100% digital, no doctors, no needles, no paperwork when you apply for $3 million in coverage or less. You just need a few minutes and a phone or laptop to apply. And since life insurance costs more as you age, now's the time to cross it off your list. So go to ladderlife.com/OFD today to see if you're instantly approved. That's LADDER life.com/OFD. ladderlife.com/OFD. The main thing I got out of this article was the importance of aligning with your partner when it comes to budgeting. I've been talking a lot to my Midwestern gentleman about money and the implications of merging our households a few months ago. Now, as someone who talks about money every single day, I have the benefit of being desensitized to the taboo around this subject matter. I think money is such a sensitive topic because many people carry a lot of shame around it. We're taught that it's a very private thing, and ultimately it's a reflection of what we value. If there's a discrepancy between what we say we value and what we're spending our money on, that can create a very uncomfortable dynamic. Money is also a form of independence, so having to negotiate with another person regarding money can create a power struggle that's really about so much more than money. I personally have never had to make financial decisions with another person, and so taking things really slow and having many transparent and ongoing conversations about money is really helping me. What we've done is agree on a budget for our joint expenses, and we plan to spend our first 6 months living together engaging with and refining this budget. Then we'll be in a good position to create savings and investment goals that we both contribute to each month. Anything outside of that is fair game and allows us both to maintain an element of independence. Regardless of the actual tactics we decide to implement, we recognize that, again, how we manage our money together is a reflection of what we value. And so most of our conversations have been about aligning on those values and dreaming up common goals. And that's a wrap for another Monday show. Have a great rest of your day and start to your week. And I'll be back tomorrow as usual, where your optimal life awaits.